Okay, in the last series of the CMRS is the case study. The case study, it says 30, but you actually have about 16 questions here, and you're going to look at print screens and case studies that you're going to pull up and review and answer the questions based on the information that they've provided. So for this, the review, payment, aging, follow-up. We want to ensure proper payment by the payer. Payer sends the EOB, the RA, so with the payment, and monitor AR for payment not received within 30 days. So we want to make sure that once we receive that EOB and that RA, that if we haven't received full payment that we're expecting, that we review it to determine if there's something else we need to appeal. Do we need to provide more information? The golden rule for medical billing is you want to appeal the money that's due, because that's what's going to keep our doors open. We do need to carefully review those EOBs. So what are you going to look at? We want to know who received the payment. So did the beneficiary or the provider receive it? Who paid the claim? The payer. The patient's name, ID, and address. Date of service, the services performed, the amount charged, the amount allowed, the total payable, the amount paid, the patient's responsibility, and any adjustment or remark codes to explain why the claims weren't paid in full. So you're going to review the information. You want to check the patient's name, account number, insurance number, and date of service against the claim. We want to check the payment for each CPT against the contractual fee schedule. Verify all CPT codes on the initial claim are listed on the EOB, so make sure that they didn't remove any. If downcoded, check to see if there was an error on the initial submission or if the payer was in error. Analyze the payer's adjustment codes carefully, and do not just accept the payer made the correct decision. That's what they are depending on. Depends on which side you work for too. If you're the payer, you're trying not to pay as much. If you are the provider, you're trying to receive everything that's due to you. If you disagree with the payer, follow up via phone or submit a letter to appeal to demonstrate why the adjustment was not warranted. So we're going to look at an EOB. So this is an EOB. You're going to see explanation of benefits on what we have. So we see who we sent it to, Delta Dental. Joe Wright is the insured. We have our claim number, so we want to make sure that's correct. We want to make sure the group name was correct. So if it was denied, did we enter either one of these informations wrong? The subscriber ID number, the patient, his date of birth, and the dentist. We want to make sure all that is correct. Then the service date, the procedure code. These are HCPCS codes or dental codes. I submitted amount, so that's the doctor's amount. This is the approved amount through the dental company. Contract allowed. Deductible. So was there a deductible? Was it paid to the deductible? Any copays? Patient amount. The dental payment. So percent of the copay is 80%. And then what they received, and then a reference code. So this is why they received zero. Coverage for this procedure is subject to contractual frequency or interval limitations. So they may have already surpassed or hit their maximum amount. It could be cavities, it could be cleanings, so whatever that may be. So what we're looking at now is another example. So we have the patient's name, we have the insured, the services. So here we have 524, end date of service is 524, paid units is 0. Procedure code, we have 99232. We have 99232. So again, that's the same bill. Amount billed was 110. Amount allowed is 0. Deductible, coinsurance, everything is 0. Other adjustments, CO 109 and remark code N05. So in this particular example, we can't see all of the instructions, but CO is the contractual obligation. So this is, you're going to share it. CO 109 is claim not covered by this payer contract. You must send the claim to the correct payer or contractor. So this may have been sent inadvertently to the wrong payer. So it was denied. Okay, reading an EOB, you're going to have several EOBs that you look at, and you're going to determine what was the payer's portion versus what was the payer, what possible errors are on this, why did it not get paid, what are you looking for to determine how can we correct this and move forward. So what we have here is we have reading an EOB, we have our preferred provider, our service date, point of service, procedure modifier, what was billed, what's allowed, the deductible, the coinsurance, the group RC amount, that's your any kind of adjustment code, what's written off, and provider, again, what was paid to them. So the name of the person is Mary Doe. The healthcare number, as far as the account number, is 345-24680. And then you have your other encounter as well as additional information. So we have our glossary at the bottom. These are our codes that are going to tell us why they were denied or not or rejected. So we have the CO is contractual obligation. Payment, patient may not be billed for this amount, meaning that it is covered in that allowable charge. OA is other adjustments. PR is, it means it's the patient's responsibility to pay for that. 16, claim services lack information which is needed for adjudication. So we may have to supply that information using the RA. 42, charges exceed our fee schedule, our maximum allowed amount, meaning that they're going to pay you based on their fee schedule. 50 is these are non-covered services because it is not deemed medically necessary by the payer. And then 100, payment made to patient insured responsible party. So we have, they were seen on 315 to 315 for all dates of service. It's one provider. The 11 is in the office. And then our procedures and modifiers. So 96413. J3490, J0780, J12, and 99213. So what they billed versus what they allowed, and is there any deductible? Is there any coinsurance? And C42 is here. C42 is on J34, and C42 is on 99213. So CO is contractual obligation. And 42 is charges exceed our fee schedule. So the physician fee schedule is 75. They allow 60. 575 is the fee schedule for the doctor. They allow 500. And 1500 is what they bill, but they allow 1200. So because it's a contractual agreement, it's telling us that the overage, the difference between what the provider bills, the 575, and what they allow the insurance company, that they cannot balance bill that patient. So $75, $300, because that's the difference between 1500 and 1200, and then 75 and 60 is $15. So this is the amount the doctors cannot bill for. And then what the provider is paid by the insurance company. All right, so 96,413 was performed and billed, 575. The allowable amount again is 500. 0 was applied to the patient's deductible. 100 went towards the coinsurance. So $500 times 20% is what we get there. CO 42 means contractual obligation, and 42 means the charges exceed. So CO 42 means the charges are written off, and the write-off amount is $75. And provider was paid $400 because 80% of 500 is $400. So the last line of this tells us the patient's responsibility is $352. The total submitted was $2205. Total allowed was $1810. And total went to the deductible was 0. Total coinsurance was $352. Total write-off was $395, and total paid by the carrier to the provider was $1458. If we go backwards, we can see where that information again will continue. So this is where all of these totals came from. So again, you're going to answer questions based on the EOBs and the remittance advice. There is a hyperlink. This is the final slide here. There is a hyperlink, Understanding the RA, located on page 168 of your study guide. So it's going to have several pages, and it's going to help to explain and also give you some examples within that hyperlink. So you may want to open that up, review it, and utilize that to answer your questions for that part of the certification. So this, as this being the final webinar instructional video for the CMRS prep course that you're going to receive, I wish everyone the best of luck. If you have any questions as far as when you go over this, just let me know. You can watch this as many times as you want to review this information as long as throughout the summer, and then I will remove these later. But right now, please feel free to review this information and utilize it. And again, good luck on your test.